Products featured in today's video were provided by NECA Toys for the purposes of this review. Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time from NECA Toys. That is right, my friends. We've got some brand new video game inspired Ninja Turtles figures. This is, I believe, the first wave of these. I believe we're going to get more of these, but it's the first ones that we've got that are technically inspired by the second arcade game, being Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. So we've got some redecos of some figures that we've already got, but we've also got ourselves a brand new villain in this wave. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. So as you can see, we got them all lined up here in front of us. We've got Leonardo, we've got Donatello, we've got a foot soldier, and we've got Slash. Of course, the one that I think most of us are very excited for in this particular wave. We finally got this Slash figure that feels like NECA showed to us so very long ago. So I'm very excited to get these guys opened up, to get a closer look at them. But we've got to start by taking a closer look at the packaging here. They come in these really great window boxes. These are single packed figures. Unlike the 2-packs that we see for the cartoon-based figures, they got this really great kind of purple swirl design, which is inspired by the Turtles in Time arcade cabinet, even featuring the really goofy artwork of those big head costume turtles that were on the side of the arcade machine. It is absolutely amazing. I love it. So the back of the packages have a great photograph of the figure within, as well as a little cross-sell there. So you can see each of the figures are a little bit different. Like, for example, Donatello's got his sewer surfing thing going on from that particular level. You can see Slash standing in the prehistoric Turtlesaurus level there. So really cool stuff. We've got our foot soldier also on the sewer surfing level. So really exciting stuff. And even though these guys here, like the foot soldier and the turtles, are redecos, you can see we've got some new accessories going on. So it's going to be pretty cool stuff. Why don't we go ahead and get these guys out of the boxes and get a closer look at them. Alright, so we've got our new figures outside of the boxes. We're going to start by taking a look at the two turtles, Leonardo and Donatello. If I bring in the tape measure here, you can see that the figures are in the 6-inch scale, but the turtles do stand shorter than the humans in this line, so they are more around the 5.5-inch mark in height. And these two figures are identical to what we've seen in the past, with the exception of a few minor paint differences on here that I'm going to point out, as well as two brand new accessories. So if you've already got the previous arcade game Turtles, you've pretty much already got these figures. If you've got the cartoon versions, which were either at Target or San Diego, you've got these figure sculpts, the difference being the paint deco. So we've got the same thing going on. You got the same holsters on the back where Leo can holster his katanas, Donatello can holster his bow staff. Everything about these guys is the same as what we saw before. So our big difference here with the paint deco, they do still feature that very video game look where they've kind of got this pixelated paint job that's to kind of mimic the look of the sprites in the arcade games. But the biggest difference, if we stand these turtles alongside those previous arcade releases, the previous releases are standing to the right. And if you look at the neck, we've got this new kind of pixelated shadow on the new figure on the left, as opposed to the original figure on the right that is lacking that pixelated shadow. Other than that difference on the neck, the rest of the figure does appear to be the same paint-wise, with the only other difference I can find being the back of their bandanas. The original arcade releases had bandana ties that were kind of laying down, while these new ones are blowing straight back, probably to go right along with their sewer surfing motif for these particular figures. So that seems to be the only differences. That one paint deco difference on the neck, the bandana ties on the back of the head. Otherwise, you already know what to expect with these figures if you've already got the arcade game figures in your collection. Or if you were never able to pick those up, this is a great way to finally get these very cool video game decoed figures into your collection. So, if you've never seen them before, why don't we go ahead and just go over the articulation, just so you know what to expect here with these guys. They are ball jointed at the top of the neck, so you can see the head moves all around there. It's also jointed at the base of the neck, so you should get a really good range of movement there. The shoulders are ball jointed. They are very, very tight on these guys, so be careful with that if they're a little stiff out of the package, but they should be able to go outwards, forwards, and backwards. Swivel at the bicep there. You do have bends at the elbow, which is a pretty good range of motion, and they can also swivel there at the elbow. It's below the elbow pad, which I do really like. You've got swivels at the wrist as well as hinges at the wrist. You can see we got Leo's wrists that kind of go up and down, which is going to be perfect for holding onto his katana blades there. We do have an ab crunch there, or like a torso ball joint basically, which is underneath the shell. So it can move. You can kind of swivel it there. You can rock the figure around. Obviously the shell itself is not going to move. We do have these nice ball-like hinges there at the thighs, so the legs can go outwards. They can move forwards. They can go backwards. You've got bends at the knees, these nice double joints there that the knee pads hide very nicely when they're not articulated. And then the ankles there, you can see can swivel side to side as well as move up and down and kind of rock side to side. So all in all, some really good articulation on the turtles, and the figures do feel really solid. Some of those joints are real tight. So sometimes I would recommend using like warm water to loosen them up the first time, or a hair dryer on a low setting. That'll kind of warm up the plastic, and then you can bend the joints a little bit better, and then you shouldn't have to worry about that anymore. So only worry about that if they're like extra stiff when you take them out of the packaging. Of course, Leonardo does come with his katana blades, which as you can see, they fit very nicely in his hands there, which is very cool. Donatello has his bow staff, and just like previously, the thing that's really cool about the bow staff is you can actually pop it apart in the middle there. You can see there's a little peg there, and that will allow you to kind of easily position it in his hands, whichever way works best for you. The left hand's a little extra tight, but it makes it a lot easier to kind of position the two halves of his bow staff in his hands, and then you can pop it back together. It's made of a very pliable plastic, so it's also really flexible, so it will bend around a little bit while you're posing it, but of course you can get Donatello to hold that two-handed, which is very nice. So each of the turtles do come with some swappable hands as well. Just like we've seen in the past, Leonardo comes with these pointing fingers, you know, for leading, and Donatello comes with these open palmed hands. So if you want to swap those out, those are just on little pegs there. You can pull the pegs right out of the joint. You can pop the new ones in place by giving it a nice little press there, and boom, just like that, you can change up the look of your turtle figures. I'm going to go ahead and put the katana blade back in here because that matches up really great with the next accessories. Now, this is the big standout new addition to these figures. Of course, this is to fit in perfectly with the Turtles in Time video game that they're from. Each of these figures comes with their very own surfboard or hoverboard, I guess. Either way, it's from the level Sewer Surfin'. Well, it's one of the levels that they use these on in Turtles in Time. They definitely hovered, though, above the water, so, you know, they're kind of like hoverboards there. But these are really cool accessories. So as you can see, Donnie and Leo do have the exact same boards, just like in the game, but they are colored to match their turtles. So we've got this purplish color here for Donnie. We've got the blue one for Leo. These are really cool because they do come with these nice little clear bases that have a nice little ball joint at the top. You can nicely clip in the board there, and look at that. It like easily rocks around on the top, so you can position that in different ways. It's got a nice sturdy base, so it stands up, and there's one foot peg on there, which will easily plug into the bottom of your turtle's foot. It's a really nice tight peg too, so it holds them very nicely on the boards, and boom, check that out, man. Let me get Donnie on his board here. All right, now let's go sewer surfing and stomp us some foot. These are really fun accessories and definitely makes these guys worth picking up, especially if you're somebody who already has the arcade game figures and you're wondering why you'd want to buy these figures again. The surfboards are a really nice addition. That's going to bring us to the foot soldier in this wave, and aside from army building, I mean, if you want to army build out your video game looking foot soldiers, the reason that you might want to pick this one up over that is, again, included accessory, and his paint deco is quite a bit different than what we saw before, only in certain spots. So if we look at this guy side by side with the previous release, you can see he does still feature that same kind of pixelated look, though the colors are quite a bit different. You'll notice that the eyes specifically are solid yellow this time as opposed to the black with the yellow squares. The upper purple portion of his torso is mostly a dark purple this time instead of mostly being a light purple. The blacks and the grays are a little bit different. In fact, the belt is painted completely different on the torso. And one of the other things I noticed is this new figure comes with bare hands instead of the one that's got the little hand guards as part of the sculpt. So he looks quite a bit different from the foot soldier that we got from the arcade game version. Is still wearing your standard purple, so he's like our standard purple ninja there. But articulation is still exactly the same. Basically matches up with what we saw with the turtles, but of course he's taller, he's skinnier, he's a bit lankier. He does have like this pliable piece that's the bottom of his tunic or his gi that he's wearing there. So you can see it doesn't hinder the movement of the legs whatsoever. We've got double joints in the knees. You've got double joints in the elbows. So it's a really, really nicely articulated figure. And this guy feels nice and solid. None of his joints feel overly tight. Everything feels real good with this guy. So he's got those closed fists. You can easily swap those out for the included open hands. So let me go ahead and do that real quick just to show you how that's done. So then our foot soldier comes with two weapons. We've got our giant plunger gun type ray gun, which we've seen with these guys already. In fact, the paint deco on this one does appear to match the paint deco from the previously released arcade game foot soldier, in case you were wondering. And we've also got the sword there, which is really nice because you can get some nice two-handed poses out of that as well. And then, just like with the turtles, our foot soldier comes with his very own surfboard. And it's got its own unique sculpt, so it differs from the turtles board, which is great. Love the little jets here on the bottom. You got the foot symbol there on the top. Has the same little base on there. And again, 1 foot peg on the top. So now we can send our foot soldier into battle against the turtles while they're sewer surfing. So again, really cool stuff. And you can army build with this guy, but also now we've got those great little surfboards as a brand new addition. Okay, so now we're at the part of the video I know you guys were all most excited to see, and that is our brand new villain in Slash. So just to do this, I want to bring in the tape measure to show you that he stands the same height as the turtles. I got his knees a little bit bent there, but it's worth noting that if we do a quick comparison with the turtle figures, it's the exact same torso, arms, and legs from the turtles. However, Slash does have his own unique head sculpt. He's got his own unique shell with the spikes on it, his own unique belt, those little shoulder pads there, the hands and the feet, and the spiked little knee pads. So there's a lot of new stuff going on there, but it's worth noting the legs, torso, and arms are the same as the turtles, which means he is the same size as the turtles there, which actually works out just fine. In fact, with that new, bigger, kind of bulkier shell with the spikes on it, he looks great. You can give him in that kind of squat knee pose, so he looks a little hunched over. And all in all, it's a fantastic sculpt. I absolutely love the head sculpt there. He's got kind of that one bigger bugging out eye. He's got the sharp teeth, the black bandana, the big goofy smile on his face. I love it. Of course, if you look at the details on the belt, he's got the backwards S. He's got the cool little skulls and crossbones and like little ninja stars. Lots of cool little things going on there. He's got the shredder-like claws on his hands. He's got clawed fingernails and clawed toenails. Very, very cool looking figure. Now, since he is inspired by the video game, he does have that pixelated paint deco. Worth noting, of course, and you probably know this if you know the games, Slash did not actually appear in the arcade version of Turtles in Time. He appeared in the Super Nintendo port of the game where they replaced the cement monster in prehistoric Turtlesaurus with Slash. So technically, this is a Super Nintendo action figure is what we've got going on here. So Slash comes with 2 accessories of his own. He's got a little hand grenade there. It's like white on one side and gray on the other to kind of mimic that pixelated look. He can hold on to that grenade okay with his right hand. It's also worth noting you can kind of like clip that on his belt if you want to. I mean, look, that actually looks really cool. It easily slides right there on the belt if you want to display it that way. And then he's also got a crooked sword, which is very cool. And of course, if any of us had the vintage action figure, we remember that little crooked sai that he came with. So this really does feel like a perfect weapon to fit in really great with Slash. And I suppose I should talk about the articulation. Since it's the same body as the Turtles, it's the same as what we saw with Donnie and Leo. One thing I really want to point out in here, I talked about the stuck joints earlier. Slash's elbows were completely stiff out of the box for mine. I couldn't move them at all. I had to do the hairdryer trick to warm up the plastic to bend the elbows. So if your figure comes out of the package and it's stiff like that, please warm up the plastic before flexing the elbows, because I don't want you guys to accidentally snap or break the figures because the joints got stuck while the paint was drying or however that happened. So it's definitely worth noting with this guy. All in all, though, I really like him. I think he's a fantastic looking figure. I'm glad to have another villain in the line. And while he is got that video game paint deco, I don't mind it. I think he looks really great. And we do still have a cartoon accurate Slash on the way from NECA Toys as well, which is pretty exciting stuff. All right, guys, it's comparison time. We've got to do this one just for fun. Let's stand this brand new Slash action figure alongside that very iconic vintage action figure from Playmates Toys. I think that vintage Slash is probably a lot of our favorite action figure from that vintage line. So pretty cool looking at these two side by side. So these figures are a lot of fun. I really like the addition of the surfboards. Heck, this is a great time to get out your Sewer Mutation alien figure if you picked that up from NECA a few years back, because man, that just fits right in with our sewer surfing level there to kind of recreate the whole pizza monster thing. But it's a really fun wave. Love those surfboards. Definitely love Slash. So I think it's a really great addition to the NECA Toys TMNT lineup. I loved the video game figures anyway that NECA's done, so it's always great to get even more of those to add to my collection. So unlike the cartoon figures that were sold exclusively at Target stores, these new Turtles in Time figures are sold exclusively through specialty shops, which means you can pre-order these online right now at stores like BigBadToyStore.com. These are set to ship in February, so they're going to be shipping very soon, and I believe they retail for under the $25 mark a piece. They're individual figures. So once again, very special thanks to the folks at NECA for sending these over early so we can get a good look at them outside of the packaging. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.